Hey, Mark Shepherd here, Healing Pastures. Welcome to Healing Pastures. And every Sunday, I do something I call the Sunday Message, which is a spiritual but not religious kind of reflection on the week and what I've learned, what I've been putting into practice, some of the things I've been struggling with, some of the positive things, some of the challenges. And I try to give myself, it's really for me. I try to give myself some support, some suggestions, some ideas, some learning, some lessons, something that I can take away with me and apply in any other area of my life or that somebody else might be able to do as well. So if you like this, I would really appreciate it if you subscribe, if you leave a comment below, if you give it a thumbs up. And I do absolutely try to respond to every single comment. I don't always do it instantly, but I check every single day to see if there are any comments. And so ultimately, Healing Pastures on YouTube is where I tell the story of putting together what needs to be put together to start a farm from scratch, a regenerative farm, a farm where the animals have a great life except for just one bad day. And maybe that day isn't even that bad because we don't know. We don't know where we come from and we don't know where we're going when we're gone. But there are systems in nature that we are attempting to mimic. And I'll talk a little bit about that in future episodes and perhaps even in this one. But in the meantime, let's get going. It's time to start the Sunday message. And I always like to include a song if I can. One of the songs I've been working on. I am a compulsive songwriter. And I have been writing songs since basically 1974, 75, something like that. I am creating a farm where hopefully generations of young farmers can come and learn how to farm a regenerative, sustainable way. And where people don't have to pretend they're not spiritual. Where you can say, yeah, this is spiritual for me. This is church. Working out here outside, working with people towards a common purpose is highly healing. It's highly healing. And in our current disunited states, we need community and we need to find common ground with each other and to work on some of the basics in life that aren't that complicated, but that we need each other to do. So that's maybe the theme of this week. Thanks to Corey, I have the afternoon off. So I'm going to take it and see what I can do with it and see if I can start to feel like I'm a little rested because I've been kind of feeling like I was wearing out a little bit. And not because of the farm, not because of any one thing, not because of my dad, not because of the fact I haven't seen my girlfriend in 6 weeks. And not, it's just all of that together. And at the same time, we need rest. The body needs rest. Our minds sometimes need a little break. So anyway, I might take a nap. An afternoon nap. That would be nice. Play guitar. I'm working on a new song. Maybe that would be good. Here we go. Cowabunga Shazam. Boom. It's Monday, the 3rd of February, and where's number 4 duck? There she is. Okay. Still got 4 ducks. Just checking. It's the 3rd of February, and turns out that the sheep that have been kind of dying, the sheep have been dropping dead. The symptoms they show are kind of like, I see them kind of lethargic a day, and then the next day they're dead. They just lie down and die. And evidently, and we don't have the final conclusive proof yet, but the theory from the people, the sheep people, the local sheep people, is that it's a liver fluke that is transmitted by way of snails that the sheep ingest accidentally, and it's a deer liver fluke, not a sheep liver fluke. I mean, the sheep are in places that have never had sheep, so that's why we kept wondering, and I kept feeling like, what am I doing? Like, I'm moving them, I'm doing everything I'm been taught to do, and they're dying. Like, I've lost, I think, 4. Corey's lost a couple. But interestingly enough, the boy sheep who we have had in a much drier area, they were up the hill in the Finnegan orchard, not down in the bottoms. Those aren't dying. Those guys aren't dying. So it seems like it can be traced back to the snails. And there were so many snails last year. It was so wet. Like the dogs had all these brown spots on their fur because wherever they lay down, they would literally be crushing snails. The sheep had snails all over their coats, but we kept moving them, so we didn't think about it. And evidently it takes a while for this parasite to get in there and kill the sheep. Because it's my sheep and Corey's sheep, and because now we're working with the local Cornell lady who's retired but very knowledgeable about all kinds of diseases and what to do to treat them the conventional way, I'm kind of caught in the place where theoretically I should let the sheep die, and then the ones that don't die, I can breed, right? But I don't know which ones are which, and this one lady lost 90 of her ewes in a very short period of time going that route, and I don't think I can afford that. So I think I'm going to have to do vaccination. I'm going to have to do this anti-parasitic drench that does kill these flukes. So I'm kind of bummed about that, but I don't know what else to do, and so I'm going to do that, and then Joel Howie at Canton Apples and I are going to focus on prevention. We're going to get chickens and ducks out in the pastures, hopefully ahead of the sheep, and also areas that got mowed and we put the sheep in between mowings. Those areas the boy sheep were in. The boy sheep were never in an area that was not mowed, whereas the girl sheep were in areas that hadn't been mowed in a long time. So maybe there were more parasites, but the girls were also in areas that were wetter, and the girls ended up in the middle of a frickin' pond during the hurricane we had in August. So stress is part of it, but also, so I'm also giving them apple cider vinegar. According to Abram Bowerman, in his book, between February and March, he tends to supplement with apple cider vinegar, and he puts salt in it so that it doesn't freeze, and so it's a little more palatable. But the sheep went right for it yesterday, so I'm going to get some apple cider vinegar today from Melvin Martin, and Joel Howie has some apple cider vinegar that's in the fermentation process, so I'll get some from him when that's ready, and I'll mix a salt that is low in iron, because evidently iron can be a toxin for sheep. And I had gotten this mineral block for the girls that I didn't get for the boys when we were trying to figure out what is going on. It is kind of reddish, and so it probably has iron in it. So I stopped giving that to them. So that's where we are. And Corey was amazing. Corey came by yesterday. His sheep died yesterday, and he came, or Saturday. Yesterday was Sunday. It's a blur. I'm so stressed, people. Do I look stressed? I'm fucking stressed. And in the middle of it, I'm trying to keep the house warm with wood, and maybe splitting wood is part of my stress, but it also seems to help relieve the stress. Anyway, so Corey was amazing, and I want to shout out to Corey Vineyard. He is an amazing human being, and he was so gentle with me, and he let me talk about all my guilt, all my shame, all my fears about calling the conventional sheep lady. But evidently Cornell is working on a test for this, because you can't test it other than on a dead sheep. And it'd be nice to have a test so we could tell if this is what's going on, because this is something I would treat, because you don't have any control over that. And these sheep have not been on areas that other sheep have ever been on. So there are tons of deer. I mean, there's so many deer. And it kind of goes to show that they're similar enough that the deer parasites can affect the sheep parasites. But you don't necessarily see the deer lethargic and lying down and dying. So the deer are able to function with a parasite load, but our sheep aren't. And so anyway, I'm struggling, people. This is, when you pursue an idea, this is the stuff that comes up that basically flushes out a lot of people who aren't in it for the long term. I believe I'm in it for the long term, but the pain of seeing my beloved sheep die is really hard because I'm doing everything I can to keep them alive. And sometimes maybe there is a place for modern medicine. I don't know. You know, if it was my kid, if it was the dogs, I'd call a vet in a minute, but I can't call a vet for 75 sheep. And so anyway, that's what's going on. And I got to go do lunch for my dad, and then I got to go get vaccines and do my chores and all that kind of stuff. It's just, the reality is I'm developing a support team and it's not quite in place yet. And I'm just exhausted. I'm just emotionally, this is wearing me out. And I don't want to see my sheep die anymore. You know, and I get the theory that if you just let the ones die that are supposed to die, then the ones that don't die are stronger. Well, what if they all die, right? That's the question. And I'm not rolling in money, and I haven't made a profit yet. And so it's pretty stressful. And then meanwhile, all the craziness is going on in Washington. And it just feels like something really bad is coming down the pike. something really bad, and I want to have food. And I want to have a really good support team, and I want to work this through and make the right decisions. And you don't know often when you're on the ground what the 25,000 foot view is. And what the heck? There's some, oh, it's fuzz. There was some fuzz. I thought it was an insect. I'm like, why is there an insect on my phone? Anyway, it's Monday, and it's been a rough couple of weeks. Corey's lost a couple sheep. I've lost a couple sheep, and hopefully we can vaccinate and treat these girls on Wednesday. It's going to be cold enough so I can use the stock trailer as a place to corral them and treat them. So anyway, that's it for this little update. When sheep die. So Joel is making some tracks for tomorrow so we can get the trailer in here so that we can medicate the girls. And we had so much snow last night. And it's gonna freeze really hard. It's gonna go down to 0. That's one way to pack down a path. I give thanks for these guys every single day, because farming alone is not possible. I'm sorry to say, people. It's the only thing that is impossible is to farm alone. It takes a community, really. So.
Yeah, so they've got a big bucket loader, and they'll pick up the dumpsters every morning, like 5 in the morning.
Something that can lift the dumpsters, what they have, or?
Say that again?
Do they have something that can lift the dumpsters?
Yeah, and then they'll drive it all the way down to the stables where they do the compost and dump it.
Yeah.
And they're doing about 2 of those every morning.
Okay. Probably something to do with their
What are you doing, Freckles?
my big bin that I can move is like.
Freckles likes it in the trailer. Do you like it in the trailer, Freckles? Just like I know there's some apples in here somewhere. Come on, Frex.
Water is about 8 pounds a gallon.
She's like, I like it in here. My hand is so cold. I gotta stop filming. the doubt, the only way out is through. Feed the faith, starve the doubt, the only way out is through. Feed the faith, starve the doubt, the only way out is through. Wow. Well, there's a bag inside, but it's not sealed. So we can put it back in the bag when you're done building it. A man about to do a puzzle. Do 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 do. All right, so have it done by the time I get home for dinner. All right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
It's a tough son of a bits and puzzle.
Oh, good.
It's just look at these are the pieces that are gonna be the bottom.
Okay.
Just look at how close alike
Good.
they
Well,
are.
when I picked the picture, I thought that would make a entertaining picture, but also have some challenges in it.
Oh my God!
Good. Well, have fun.
And
Cool. All right.
that,
Well, I gotta go.
yeah,
We're gonna get hay today, so
yeah.
I gotta get over there and gotta
Okay.
get some diesel and some diesel fuel treatment on the way. So here I go. See you later. So we had a little, the back tire popped, the valve stem popped, and beet juice was inside, and it's all over the driveway, but luckily it was beet juice and not some horrible stuff. I was just thinking, Joel, for the Sunday message about how even something like this, for someone who's not mechanical like me, this is not that complicated, but you can't do it yourself. You know what I mean? Like, you need some know-how, some knowledge, some experience, and how few people have that today. Even for something as simple as a tractor, right? I mean, our technology has gotten so far ahead of us.
Just a tire.
Just a tire on a tractor. How simple that is, and all we needed to do was to get that tire to seal and to replace the valve stem down there in the corner. There's your valve stem right there, and there's a special tool for that, and da-da-da. And how stressful it is if you have no way of knowing how to do that. But when you do know how to do it, it's not that big a deal.
Correct.
It's annoying, but it's not the end of your...
And it's disruptive to your plan. And,
Yeah, but that's part of dealing with. You just got to deal with shit and do it.
That's where on-farm experience comes into play.
Right.
Where I learned how to do this at a young age on the dairy farm when I was in high school.
Right,
Piece of cake.
right. But I never learned this kind of stuff. So we broke a valve stem on the right wheel, and then when we tried to just check the pressure in this wheel, the pressure gauge basically got the valve stem got stuck in the pressure gauge, and now the left wheel valve stem is broken and the beet juice is coming out. And thank God they put in beet juice and not some weird oil or some antifreeze or some other thing. Yeah, so at least it'll be even. But when we're moving hay bales, we need actually some weight in the front anyway, so.
Well, it's not going to matter for the...
That is not a pleasant sound. Sometimes I feel that way about my life force. Just being sucked out of us. Yeah. So, we've gotten through the first week of February, and it was quite a week here at Healing Pastures. We got a team together: Sam Voter, Joel Howie, Corey Vineyard, and Luke Howie was able to come after he got out of school and before he went to basketball practice, and myself. And we vaccinated and drenched the sheep and checked their hooves and trimmed hooves. And so far we have had no more fatalities of sheep. And again, we've done a lot of thinking about how we can prevent the snail transmitted parasite. That was not something we'd heard about before, and not something that rotational grazing would fix, but something that we noticed the boy sheep who were in areas that were drier and that had been mowed, they haven't seemed to gotten the same deal. None of them are dying, and they seem to have a much higher level of health. So I think the girls have had their livers have been compromised, and that's why they've got the pink eye. Maybe that's why they got some of the other little not so serious health issues, because we never had any of that before. So that was Wednesday. Today is Saturday. Corey contacted me this morning and said he found some hay. So we got a hay delivery, and we got Joel's neighbor John to come over with his tractor and unload us. And the point I'm getting to here, and I'll get to the point in a minute. So once we got the hay unloaded, Corey basically offered to give me the afternoon off. So he went and took care of the girl sheep. And meanwhile, the valve stem on my little mini tractor popped. And so Joel went and got valve stem replacement things. And we fixed one of them, and then we're just going to check the air on the other one. And checking the air, he broke the valve stem. It just broke off in the valve checker, in the tire pressure checker thing. And so we ended up letting all the BEET juice out of that one too, and fixing that. But the thing is, working with Joel, like, he knows kind of what he's doing, and I don't, around a lot of machinery stuff. So I was able to be helpful, but it was he was doing it. And that, there's something about that taking so much pressure off me. I can't describe it, because for me, I have the ongoing responsibility of my dad. And so for me to have a little break from something, very helpful, because it's been 6 weeks, longer than 6 weeks, since I've actually had a day off where I can go and hang out with my girlfriend. And, she takes really good care of me when I go to visit her. But I think that was the winter solstice weekend was the last time I had time away. And the daily chores of the farm aren't that taxing, and I like doing them. It's not about not liking it. It's about continuous and unrelenting stress. It's about never getting a break. So this afternoon is a gift, and I'm grateful for it, and I'm continuously grateful for Joel Howie and Corey Vineyard and Sam Voter. And we have a new intern, Callie Richards. And, Joel has put together a wonderful community here. And it was kind of cool. We went in to the cider mill, and Patty and Sharon, the tea ladies, were there doing a bunch of stuff with some of the people that help them. So there was a bunch of people here doing things on a Saturday, working to do something to fulfill their dream, their purpose. And that's huge. That's a good energy to be around. And I just want to record that and comment on that, So anyway, I have the afternoon. I may go work on some music. I haven't done music now for a while. It's just been a crazy busy week. So doing some music this afternoon, maybe. We'll see. Anyway, that's it for this little section. Cowbunga Shazam Boom. I took myself out for a crepe on a Saturday afternoon. Oh boy, that looks good. Oh, that was good. That was really, really good. So, the whole thing I'm trying to do is I have the afternoon off. I'm trying to do something different and out of the ordinary that is interpreted by my unconscious mind as self-loving. I'm just trying to give myself a little bit of a break, and because I'm really hard on myself, which is good in many ways, but it kind of sneaks up on you sometimes, and I needed a break. And again, thank you to Corey Vineyard for covering me on Saturday. And I'll cover for him next week. He's going away to Texas to install this piece of art that he has constructed for an artist. So I think the bottom line is we have to take care of each other. We have to find a community wherever you are, whatever you're doing, where you're not alone. And that's, as an introvert, challenging for me because I need a lot of time alone, and I need rest, and I need recovery time, and the world can be very intense for me. So anyway, those are my thoughts from the Old Market, that's what it's called. So this week's Sunday message is a little different in that I'm actually in downtown Potsdam, New York. And I just went to the Old Market coffee and espresso and crepes place. And it was great. It was really nice. Just thinking about community, thinking about how we humans, we need each other, and at the same time, a lot of times we drive each other nuts, and we disagree with each other, and we want everybody to agree with us, and we want to only hang out with people that we agree with. But the reality is that is not reality. The reality is that's not realistic in a world of divergent experiences and views. So the challenge seems to be to find a core group of people who you really get along with, who you share a lot of common values with, and then to learn how to go deeper in a constructive and positive way. And if we can do it here in our personal lives and really focus on holding that vision for our communities and our larger regional communities, maybe, just maybe, there's hope for the human race. So those are my thoughts on a Saturday afternoon, walking to my car. I came to Potsdam to see if I could find out if my French horn had been repaired yet, and I think I can cross without dying. And they, of course, were closed, so I was like, well, I drove here for nothing. I wasted my one afternoon. No! Caught myself with the negative thoughts, challenged them, and I was like, oh, that place I've been wanting to come and I wanted to try. So I went, and luckily they were still open for another few minutes, and they served me a delicious crepe and a cup of coffee, which I didn't really need because I'm probably had enough coffee. But thinking about community, thinking about hope for our nation, for our world, trying to stay focused on solutions and on what I can do to make my little corner of the world a little better, and just, we are in control of our thoughts. We are in control of who we associate with. We are in control of how we use our time. That's the ultimate freedom. And I send out my prayers to those of you in the world who are struggling. I send out my hope, my love, my desire for you to have a great experience in this world. And that's all I can do from a camera phone standing behind an old building in Potsdam, New York. And so, peace, love, and grooviness going out into the world. That's it for the Sunday message. Here's a song. I'm not sure which song it's going to be, but here's a song. So, peace, love, and grooviness. Amen. I live where the farming is religion, and the weather is always bad. It's always too hot, too cold, too wet, too dry, and everything is gonna die. Take your hand off the plow for a moment. Lift your face to the sheltering sky. Take your mind off the law of gravity and teach our heart how to fly. 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 Refuse to just get by. When the hours get long and tedious and the honeybees abandon their hive, remember that you are one of the few who keep the rest of us alive. So teach our heart how to fly. So teach our heart how to fly. Teach our heart how to fly. Refuse to just get by. Keep your focus on the possibilities and remember why you are here. Nature is your ally, not your enemy. The ultimate enemy is fear. So teach our heart how to fly. Teach our heart how to fly. Teach our heart how to fly. Refuse to just get by. Is it all just a beautiful accident? Or is there mind behind the miracle of millions of sparkling spider webs adorning the morning meadows? Remind your heart, remind your heart, remind your heart, remind your heart how to fly. Remind your heart how to fly. Remind your heart how to fly. Refuse to just get by. Refuse to just get by. I live where the farming is religion and the weather is always fine. It's never too hot, too cold, too wet, too dry, and everything is gonna thrive. Everything is gonna thrive. Teach your heart how to fly. Teach our